First, there are more. I'm worried, and I'll tell you why I'm worried. First, I'm a Nigerian, and this, and the times that we're in, makes me even more worried. If we look at that list, it tells a lot. First, there are more non-career diplomats than career diplomats. You have 17 non-career, over 15 career diplomats. So it tells you that it's not, the focus is not really about diplomacy. Okay? And then secondly, you want to ask yourself, what is the quality of people that you have sent there? Who is an ambassador? The ambassador is the representative of the president in the country, you know, or the mission that he is representing. He's the voice of the president in that place, okay? Whether it's at the AU, the UN, in Russia, in the USA, Germany, or wherever. Thirdly, in the country where that ambassador is, he's like the president of all Nigerians there, okay? Again, as an ambassador, it is his job to, you know, apart from, to smoothen relationships, improve relationships between these countries, and also see how they can improve trade, you know, between these countries, and if possible get, as we are right now, looking for foreign direct investment into Nigeria. But when you look at that list, that brings to mind the issue of capacity that you talked about. I'll talk about cronyism later, but let's look at capacity. What's the capacity of these people? What qualifies them to handle these positions? And that's where the issue of cronyism comes in, because what it does appear like is like it's just settlement. And again, the main reason why I'm also worried is because you recall at a point in time we're saying that the government would say that Africa is the centerpiece of Nigeria's diplomacy, or foreign policy rather, foreign policy, which meant that everything we did was Afrocentric. We would always look at Africa. So our decisions were always based on that. Now you want to say to yourself, what times are we in right now? What are our priorities as a country? If it is important that, if our image is important to us, our economy is important to us, we must get the very best, you know, to be able to go out there and negotiate for us. Several years ago, I read something on, Reader's Digest. You know, they have this anecdote out there. It said, who is a diplomat? So that person who is able to tell you to go to hell and you look forward to the trip. Which means they say it in such a nice way.
Yes.
But if you look at the trip, I mean, the team that we have right now, you find people who are uncouth in their language, you know, who don't have diplomatic finesse in their carriage, in their talk. If they tell you to go to hell, you will actually give them a punch, because they can't couch it in a way that will make you look forward to the trip, in a manner of speaking. Okay, so this gets me worried. So it looks like what the president is doing is just filling in spaces. It's like, okay, who is left? This one has been disturbing me. Okay, you go there. I'll push you there. I'll make you an ambassador. That's exactly what we have right now. Is that what Nigeria needs at this moment? And then finally, let me speak about Mahmud. It is worrying. It's not tidy. No matter how qualified he is, he's not the most qualified person. Okay? It is not tidy, it doesn't speak well. What it just simply tells me, particularly the three musketeers that have been singled out of the whole group, Reno, Fani, Kayode, and Mahmud, they appear like hatchet men who have to be settled. It may not be the case, but you know as well as I do that perception is stronger than reality in most cases, because you're not going to be in every room to explain what your reasons are for picking these people. And so the public perception is also very important. So right now, the perception out there with the general public is that it's time to settle people who have done hatchet work for the government. And it's worrying.
Well, definitely it's worrying, you know, but then I'm wondering in what ways, you know, could choosing such politically exposed person, in what ways could it undermine our foreign service? And then also, the list has been criticized as favoring the Southwest region. So what measures can be taken to ensure a more balanced representation of regions and expertise in future ambassadorial nomination, as this most likely, you know, will be passed by the Senate?
Okay, I'm sorry to say this because I'm not a bigot and I would not like to talk about languages, but what they're even talking about Southwest is even worse. Grace Bent is Adama, but she's Yoruba. You know that as well as I do. The Kwara candidate, you know as well as I do, is Yoruba. They are not Southwest. So, in fact, it's not just the 9 they're talking about. We're talking about 11 or perhaps even more. It's even worse. This is why there's a need to be sensitive about these matters. You know, because we're setting a dangerous precedence, and if the next president comes from another region and does even worse, there's a precedence already. That's what makes me worried about all this. There are enough people qualified. I think there's a need to just temper this a bit. You know, create a bit of balance so that it doesn't appear so obvious. I tell you, it's so bad that even people from the Southwest right now are very uncomfortable, you know, with the way things are going. And I think the president should listen and should be sensitive and should handle this country. The elections have long been over. He should be the father of everybody and should respect the Constitution. If they talk about federal character, which is what it talks about, there are enough qualified people in every state and across all the regions of this country.